In the early 1960s, while the world focused on spy planes and nuclear standoffs, a much quieter race was unfolding inside American intelligence. It wasn't about missiles or territory, it was about information, and more importantly, about understanding it. The question wasn't just who could collect the most secrets, it was whether a machine could help make sense of them. Long before artificial intelligence became a familiar idea, the CIA was already asking something radical for its time. Could a computer assist in thinking? For decades, intelligence work had depended almost entirely on people, analysts reading reports, comparing sources, connecting details others overlooked. Experience, intuition, and judgment were everything. National security rested on the assumption that only the human mind could weigh evidence and decide what mattered. By the late 1950s, that assumption was starting to crack. The Cold War created a problem no amount of manpower could fully solve. Information was arriving faster than it could be processed. Surveillance reports, intercepted communications, foreign newspapers, diplomatic cables, defector testimonies. The volume was relentless. Somewhere in that flood of data might be a warning, a military buildup, a political shift, a technological breakthrough. But finding it meant digging through mountains of irrelevant detail. Human analysts were skilled, but they were also tired, limited, always racing against time. And the Cold War did not wait. Mistakes carried enormous consequences. A missed signal could mean disaster. A misread pattern could escalate into catastrophe. Faced with that reality, the agency began to explore an idea that felt almost science fiction at the time. What if a machine could help? Throughout the 1960s, the CIA quietly funded research into automated systems designed to process intelligence data. These were not modern computers. They were massive machines filling entire rooms, running on punch cards and magnetic tape. Slow by today's standards, but groundbreaking then. Researchers wanted to know if these systems could identify patterns in communication traffic, if they could flag anomalies in surveillance data, if they could cross-reference information faster than teams of human analysts ever could. The goal was never to replace people, it was to assist them, to reduce noise, to surface signals worth attention, to point human judgment in the right direction. Some of this research happened in universities, some inside classified facilities. Much of it remains only partially understood today, but the ambition was clear: build a machine that could help understand an adversary. At the time, the phrase thinking machine meant something very specific. No one expected consciousness. No one imagined awareness or creativity. What they wanted was automation. Systems that could sort, compare, and organize information at speeds no human could match. Machines that could notice when keywords appeared together, when communication patterns shifted, when unrelated data points began to align in suspicious ways. The machine wouldn't decide. It would simply highlight something worth deciding about. Even that felt revolutionary. But the vision moved faster than the technology. Computers of that era could calculate, but intelligence analysis required context, ambiguity, contradiction. Information arrived incomplete, misleading, and often in different languages and formats. Teaching machines to navigate that complexity proved nearly impossible. There was also a gap in expectations. Some hoped these systems would deliver clarity, certainty, clean answers in an uncertain world. When they couldn't, enthusiasm faded. Projects were scaled back. Funding moved elsewhere. Quietly, the experiments ended. But they were not failures. They revealed limits. They clarified what machines could and could not do. And that understanding mattered more than immediate success. The questions didn't disappear. How do you organize overwhelming information? How do you detect meaningful patterns? How do you support human judgment without replacing it? These questions continued to evolve, often outside public view, waiting for technology to catch up. Today, intelligence work still depends on people. Analysts still read, assess, and decide, but they no longer work alone. They operate alongside systems capable of processing information at unimaginable scale. The balance has shifted, but the core challenge remains unchanged: making sense of the world with incomplete information, under pressure, without certainty. No machine has replaced experience or intuition. Technology assists. It does not resolve uncertainty. Perhaps it never will. What's most striking about these early experiments is not that they fell short. It's that they happened at all. At a time when computers were rare and unfamiliar, a small group of researchers and intelligence officers asked whether machines could participate in one of the most human tasks imaginable: understanding other minds. That question didn't begin in the 1960s, and it didn't end there either.
It's a thread running through history, from the earliest tools to the present day. Always pushing, always asking what comes next. The CIA's thinking machines never became what their creators hoped for, but they marked a beginning, a moment when the relationship between human judgment and machine capability first came into focus. Long before machines were ready, the question had already been asked,